Yo, yo, yo. What is up? Happy Tuesday, everybody. Oh, only 193 days? Oh. Well, when you put it like that, sounds like a long-ass time. Does anybody have any good news? Robert has bad news. Does anybody have any good news? The Eagles won. Yeah, I guess that's good news. Depends on who you ask. Yes, sir. Every day is a great day to be a Tiger. Dabo's cooking. Dabo's cooking with grease. The NCAA said there's no cap on how many coaches you can have, so Dabo said, all right, I got you on that. Bet. This guy hires a new position every 2 days. So, now that the Super Bowl is over, the football season is officially over. Of course, it's been over in college for a few weeks now, but the next 7 months is going to be long. Slam Newton wants to know, what if Dabo retire and Jimbo Fisher comes in? Well, Dabo's not retiring, well, at least not anytime soon, and Jimbo Fisher would never get even offered a job at Clemson, so there's that. Anyway, it's tough trying to search for ACC news in football right now. I mean, you got hires. That's really the main thing that's going on. I just mentioned Clemson's hired four guys in the past 5 weeks. The most notable being Tom Allen, defensive coordinator they got from Penn State. But they've hired some other guys too, some off the field guys, some on the field guys, and a mix of the two. And one thing you'll notice with all these guys is he's not hiring guys that it's their first time doing any kind of job. These are all guys that have been around for a long time, both in college and the NFL. Yeah, yes, I have been following Clemson basketball. As a matter of fact, last Tuesday when we did the ACC show, the show ended about 8:30, I think, and Clemson played Georgia Tech at 9 o'clock. And Clemson lost to a terrible Georgia Tech team. Then went on to beat number 2 Duke on Saturday, and then yesterday beat North Carolina. I think they're currently sitting at second place in the ACC with a 20-5 record. I think they're 12-2 in conference. They got a good team this year. Will the Nerds beat Miami again this year? Well, I don't think they play them this year. Yeah, I don't think they play this year. The ACC's got sort of like the SEC does now, that rotating schedule. They don't have, since there's no divisions anymore. So I believe we looked at the schedules last week, and Miami and Georgia Tech did not play. Clemson plays Georgia Tech, though. Early in the season, too, like week 3. The conference tournament in basketball, is that what you're asking? That's a good question. I want to say there's 4 regular season games left, so it's in a couple of weeks, like the end of February, last week of February, right? Because then March Madness starts in March. So But anyway, searching through some ACC football news today, I did stumble upon something I thought that was rather interesting as it pertains to our half-brothers in the ACC, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Let me turn this music off here. You know, we may as well get this shit show started. What do you think about that?
Sounds good.
What is up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the ACC show. I am your host, your humble host at that, PigskinPeete, joined by my friend, co-host, and colleague, the one and the only Sea-Dog. And why is my... Oh, I know why. That's why. There you go. Look at that. See how I did that there? Professional. What's up, Sea-Dog?
What's up, man?
Refresh my memory. We went over the schedules last week for Georgia Tech, Clemson, and I think Miami. You do not play Georgia Tech in the regular season this year, do you?
Does Georgia Tech play Georgia Tech?
Miami, I'm sorry.
Who you talking to?
I'm talking to you.
Me?
Do you play Miami this year?
No, they dodge us.
They dodge you. So I think it was Ultra Magadog that asked that. No, so Georgia Tech will not again beat Miami because they won't play.
Unfortunately,
unless
North Carolina dodges us too. Both of our daughters.
Unless they play in the conference championship game, which, I mean, the four teams that I think are the favorites right now probably are Clemson, Miami, Georgia Tech, and I'm trying to think who the fourth one you think would be.
You think that we're in the grounding?
I think you're in the top four, yeah.
I don't know about that.
Okay, well, give me your top four then.
Well, probably Syracuse now.
Okay, I guess I can ride with that. I mean, they don't have Kyle McCord, but whatever.
They don't?
No, he left.
I thought he was coming back.
No, he's an idiot. He's a five-star dummy. He said he's going to go to the draft.
Jeez. I don't know then.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, you got to put Georgia Tech up there. I guess it would be between Syracuse and maybe Louisville.
It'll probably, Louisville. Louisville's kind of going to always be there. It'll probably be between, and it might be somebody that we, don't expect, like Pitt or something.
Yeah, I'm going to say no on Pitt.
I said Pitt or something.
I know. Look, that's the thing about the ACC is it's so hard preseason, and I think we do a pretty decent job of kind of figuring it out before the season starts, but it's one of the harder conferences to predict. I mean, the Big Ten is, it's the same three teams every year, basically. We had Indiana come out of nowhere this year. Right now in the SEC, well, I guess the SEC could get interesting this year, too, well, with the rise of a couple of teams. South Carolina's supposed to be pretty good. LSU, I think, is going to be good. Obviously, Alabama, Georgia, that's probably your top four there. I don't know, but the ACC is hard to figure out. We forgot about SMU. That reminds me, I was looking at something earlier about the average 5-year recruiting rankings for all the teams in the ACC, and of course they included Stanford and Cal and SMU in there. Out of all the 17 teams in the ACC, who do you think has the worst 5-year recruiting average out of all the teams?
All the teams in the ACC?
Yeah.
The worst recruiting?
Yeah, over the last 5 years on average.
Got to be Wake Forest.
I would have thought that too. No.
Really?
Yeah. The answer is going to surprise you,
Virginia?
I think. Virginia? No.
Huh.
The answer is going to surprise you. No,
Duke?
not Georgia Tech, no.
I said Duke.
No, I'm reading the chat too. No, not Duke.
Jeez.
Now, it's kind of a trick question because this team wasn't in the ACC until last year.
Oh, come on. Like SMU or Stanford.
Bang. Slim Shady got it. It's SMU.
Listen, yeah.
Yeah, they average
That's a trick question.
they average like a 48 or 49 ranking over the last 5 seasons. Now, as soon as they joined the ACC, they had their best recruiting class in like 10 years. I think they were 30.
Wow.
So that tells you the difference in recruiting, from a Power 5 or Power 4 conference, I guess now, compared to a Group of 5 school.
Yeah.
So, and they made they had the worst 5-year recruiting average, and they made it to the ACC championship in their first season. So I don't know. That's pretty impressive, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I am glad that Sid Irish is in the chat because this is, as you can see from the title of this show, and this is something I just stumbled across this morning. I'm just going to read you a brief article here from, what is this, Sports Illustrated, I think? Yeah, SI.com. So credit to them for this. Major changes could be coming to Notre Dame's ACC partnership. Now, you know how I feel about this partnership, Sea-Dog.
It's a one-way freaking deal.
It's a one-way deal. But this is interesting, and I don't really... before I read this, I'm just going to go on record as to say I don't think this is going to happen. But it's good to talk about anyway. Notre Dame's relationship with the ACC may be shifting in a big way. What changes could be on the horizon, and how will it impact the Fighting Irish? And, of course, there's 18 million ads before the next sentence. It isn't news to anyone that the ACC has been troubled lately from having multiple top brand name schools threaten to leave the conference to a low upside limited TV contract, to the fact that there aren't currently any national title level elite teams in the ACC, which I think that's,
accurate.
As Mrs. Peete would say, that's bullshit there.
Well, I'm sure Clemson fans have nothing to say about it, but, I mean... At least in the past few years, that's accurate.
Yeah, but to say there's not any elite level teams in the ACC is not true. If you just want to say they haven't won a national championship in the ACC since 2018, you can say that.
Well, what's elite? ACC was terrible this year.
Yeah, they were pretty bad, but they still had 2 teams in the playoffs. So.
Which both kind of got their ass kicked.
Yeah. Anyway, it's been a rough road for the conference as of late. According to Ross Dellinger of Yahoo Sports, some potential changes may be coming to the ACC that could greatly alter Notre Dame's ongoing scheduling agreement with the conference moving forward. Under the details of the purported new ACC TV and scheduling deal, Notre Dame's agreement with the conference would be altered so that the Irish would face the biggest brands in the ACC much more often. So right now, Notre Dame is sort of doing a revolving door, just playing whatever it is, 4 or 5, I think some years even 6, but whatever. It's an average of about 5 ACC teams a year, and they're just sort of rotating. There's no teams in the ACC they play every year. They could go 2 or 3, sometimes 4 years without playing any certain school. It's been a few years since they played. Well, they played him in 2023, but they didn't play last year, Clemson. But anyway, rather than the current equal rotation between Notre Dame and all the ACC teams, the Irish would face 2 brand name ACC teams per year between Miami, Clemson, and Florida State. So what they're saying here is, well, what I just said. Every year, they would have to, out of those 3 teams, Miami, Clemson, and Florida State, they would have to play 2 of those. Now, what's interesting to me is, I know this is all about TV money, and that's the reason they're bringing the quote-unquote brand name deal into it. But it's interesting that they picked those 3 teams, because Florida State went, what 2-10 last year?
Well, I think that's why they specified brand name
teams,
rather than good teams or best teams or whatever.
Right. This alteration to Notre Dame's ACC agreement would be a huge compliment to the Irish as an acknowledgement of Notre Dame's brand strength and ability to move the needle regarding attendance and TV numbers. Now, my question is, first of all, I don't like the deal between the ACC and Notre Dame to begin with, but I mean, it's just sort of one of those things you just got to deal with, you know? So if we have to deal with it, I like this. I like this for the ACC. The question is, do Notre Dame fans like this? And also, will they sign off on this? Because I don't think they can just retroactively like say, oh, by the way, now you got to play Miami, Clemson, or Florida State, 2 of the 3 of those every year, whether you like it or not.
It makes their schedule harder.
It makes their schedule harder. Right. Exactly. Thank you. Now, I do not think that Notre Dame as a program is necessarily scared to play anybody. As a matter of fact, they took a lot of heat this year about their schedule, although none of that was their fault. I mean, on paper, they had a decent schedule before the season started. It just so happened a couple of those teams that are normally good ended up, being shit. But that wasn't their fault. But yeah. I would be interested to see if Notre Dame would even sign off on this, because, like I said, I don't think they can just be, forced to do this. They're already in a contract. So, and they may just say no. What do you think?
Well, who's proposing this? The ACC, I guess.
I guess it's put somewhere in the new TV deal.
Oh, in the new TV deal.
Yeah, in the TV deal. I don't know. That's the way I read it. It was kind of. Deal? It's not a new one. It's just
ESPN basically picked up the option.
Yeah, they picked up the option. I guess they had an option to go ahead and drop it or continue it through, 2035 or something, Slim? Is that right?
35, 36.
Yeah, 35, 36. So they picked it up, and I guess maybe they put a clause in there that said, Notre Dame, if they're going to have this ACC schedule, they have to play 2 of these 3 teams every year.
Well, they would have had one of them anyway if Lou Holtz wasn't a bitch.
What do you mean by that?
Lou Holtz is the one that lobbied to end the yearly series with Miami.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, Lou Holtz and Jimmy Johnson didn't much care for each other.
Well, you know how I freaking feel about Notre Dame. I think that they need to. This half in, half out shit is really testing my patience.
Yeah. Okay. That's not Notre Dame's fault. That's the ACC's fault.
I completely agree. The ACC is a poorly ran conference.
Oh yeah, Jim Phillips is a total fucking idiot.
To be fair, he hasn't done a whole lot to make it better, but to be fair to him, he was handed a shit show.
Yeah.
It wasn't great, but you said it. How long has he been the commissioner of the ACC now? For almost 10 years, right?
No. They got a new commissioner just in the last couple of years.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
It's been 2 or 3 years.
But he's not the one that made the Notre Dame deal, but he is the one proposing this new semi-playoff schedule for the ACC, which is so crazy.
Yeah, I thought that was more than a little silly.
I don't understand that. We talked about that, right, in the last show or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. We don't know because you weren't paying attention. You were playing some game.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, first of all, I'm a good multitasker. You know what I'm doing right now?
What?
I'm not sure if I want to now.
Yeah.
I'll cut my camera on. Let's see.
Oh no.
Is this ain't gonna get Pete's channel shut down, is it?
Nah.
He's fucking painting while he's doing the show. Hold on, let me show you guys this. This is unbelievable. Look at this.
You missed the spot.
Yeah,
listen,
you're doing a great job, by the way.
Listen, it's not my fault because
you didn't even bother to take that nail out of the wall. You're just painting right over the nail.
Yes, I'll get the nail. Listen, it's not my fault, okay? Because my wife.
I bet you paint over electrical outlets too.
No, I'm not painting over that. Listen. It is what it is. It's not my fault. I had to, because my wife told me to do this before she got home later tonight, and I basically screwed around all day and didn't do it, and so now I have to do it during the show.
Right.
So it's my wife's fault.
So you screwed around all day knowing you had the ACC show, and you're like, you know what? I'll just paint during the ACC show. Fuck it.
Wait a minute. It's your wife's fault that you procrastinate?
It's her fault for telling me to paint the wall.
He was playing that dumb game all day. That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't appreciate you coming on here and disparaging the mighty ACC. They really weren't shit this year. Some teams were that were predicted to be good, but a whole lot of people didn't predict Syracuse to be good. And I mean, are we going to call 9-3 a bad team?
I mean, we weren't as bad as like the SEC, but we weren't,
exactly.
we weren't a great conference. No.
Well, we were terrible in the bowl season. That's for sure. But I think our out of conference record during the regular season was not bad.
No, we had a winning record against the Big Ten. I think we were one game down on the SEC. Thanks a lot, Dave Dorn.
Thanks a lot, Clemson, too. Lost two SEC teams in the regular season. That didn't help.
Yeah. I mean, we did our part. Listen, we beat the crap out of Florida.
We lost to dang Vandy. So that's pretty bad, too.
But anyway, before you showed us your painting brush there, you were about to ask me about the Jim Phillips proposal for the ACC championship thing. I think.
Yeah, I basically was wondering if that. I definitely asked this question last time when we were talking about it, but I don't remember the answer. But is it? Are they proposing that we play an extra game?
Yes.
Because if so, that's horrible.
It's ridiculous.
Basically, 2 and 3 are going to play each other to decide who's going to go to the
That's
ACC title game.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So of course it's ridiculous, and I don't even know. I feel like he never made a formal proposal for that. It's just he kind of was like, in an interview with somebody and just kind of like. It just came out of his mouth, and he didn't really think it through because it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. There's not a single team in the ACC that would sign off on that.
I mean, to be fair, I think it's Miami's fault. I think it's because a 10-2 Miami got left out of the ACC title game because 2 of Clemson's losses were out of conference and only 1 in-conference loss.
Well, the reality is, I mean, this is the problem too. Like, the reality is, if you want to call it, that Syracuse and Miami game was playoff or ACC title. It basically was a semifinal. It just wasn't called that.
Yeah.
We still got the game. We would have got that matchup in this stupid thing that they're proposing.
Well, first of all, when would you even play that? If you're going to play play an extra game, when would that be? During the Army-Navy game?
Probably the week of the Army-Navy game.
Yeah, okay. That's not pretentious.
That's so stupid. Why would you handicap your own teams by making them play an extra game?
I guess I think what this all stemmed from was he's trying to figure out a way to get as many ACC teams in the playoffs, and he feels like that'll do it. But I don't think that's going to make a difference.
I don't think this goes going to either.
I don't either.
I mean, unfortunately, you're stuck with a playoff committee that knows about as much about football as Mrs. Sea Dog. And
hey, Mrs. Sea Dog knows more than those jokers, I guarantee it. She sits down and watches the games with me.
Yeah, I'm sure she knows a lot. She's stuck in a house with him.
She watches the games when I'm not there.
Damn.
Yeah, she was watching the Georgia Tech game this year.
Well, that's kind of my point. She's watching Georgia Tech football, so how much can you really know about
football?
His
wife was watching the Georgia and Georgia Tech game by herself while he was having a sleepover party with Rec Talk.
I was at Rec Talk, yeah. She was with her family in Tennessee. Very funny. And the only reason I came down was because BBD's funeral was the next day.
All right.
So, yeah, you guys are assholes for making fun of me for that. Yeah.
No, I thoroughly enjoyed the Rec Talk and Sea Dog stream. I watched almost the entire thing. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat, believe me.
Well, I didn't enjoy it. So.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't think it's going to happen because in order for that to happen, all of the schools would have to vote on it, and I don't see a single school being willing to play an extra game when you already have an expanded playoff where you have play potentially an extra playoff game from a 4-team system to play another ACC game. It's just I just don't think it's going to happen. But it just shows.
I don't see it happening either.
It just shows how incompetent he is. That's all. I mean, that's all that really. That's what I got out of it. It's like, bro, do you even think this through at all?
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't come up with a more brain dead idea.
Yeah. So, anyway, did you see, Sea-Dog, that you remember last Tuesday we had the show and I said, we're about to play Georgia Tech in basketball. Of course, you didn't have any interest in it because you don't care about basketball.
Yeah, I saw we won.
You did. You won. But it might have been the best thing that ever happened to Clemson because they went on to beat Duke and North Carolina after that.
Oh, well, you're welcome.
Yeah. Oh. A little fire.
Yeah,
so to speak.
Last week we talked about how we didn't have a DC, but we did wind up hiring one.
Who'd you get?
So we hired Blake Gideon, who was the safeties coach for Texas this year.
Oh.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're gonna hire a position coach, I mean that's probably one of the best ones to do.
Yeah, they might have had if not the best secondary, the top 2.
Right.
In the country.
And the recruiting, he recruits really well.
Yeah.
And that's to Texas, so.
Yeah, he's the fucker that stole Andrew Makubo away from Clemson.
Oh, man.
Yeah, fuck him.
Well, I'm excited to find out what else he steals from Clemson.
And I didn't think we were going to hire another D-line coach, but Mario did today, as a matter of fact.
And who'd you get?
Well, you ought to remember being in Carolina. You remember Damian Lewis got drafted to first round of Carolina Panthers in 01?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's our D-line coach. He was the D-line coach at Seattle, the Seahawks, and then most recently he was the D-line coach at Colorado.
Wow. Yeah, a lot of hiring going on. Dabo's just hiring everybody that walks by the office, I think.
Well, I'm going to walk by Dabo's office then.
He's hired 4 guys in the past 5 weeks.
From within?
No.
Not
they're all members of his church, though.
They probably are now, yeah. Well, he hired, obviously, Tom Allen from Penn State. He hired Lonnie Galloway, who I think was working. Where was he working last year? I forget where he was working. He's just an analyst role. He hired Kevin Kelly, who I believe was with the Los Angeles Chargers last season. He hired him as a talent and acquisition specialist or recruiter or whatever you want to call it. So he's basically evaluating high school talent, I think is his specialty. And then he hired Mike Houston, who is a national championship winning FCS coach with James Madison. And he also coached at Coastal Carolina for some time as a head coach. He hired him as a defensive analyst. So.
All right.
Yeah, he's just hiring everybody. Like, that new NCAA rule where there's no limit on coaches or anything like that. So Dabo's like, all right, bet on that. I'm just going to hire everybody then. We're going to have we're going to have as many coaches as we have players on this team. Yeah. I don't want to hear anybody tell me Clemson doesn't have any money because clearly they do. Hiring all these people.
We hired I don't know if y'all know about it, but I know we have a lot of Georgia fans that watch and stuff, but a lot of people were kind of surprised that Kennesaw State, which is my local team here, they fired their coach after only 1 year in being an FBS. Which everyone, with a set of eyes, knows that was a complete, just an idiot decision, because they made the jump into, FBS without being, fully prepared.
Yeah.
And then fire the guy one year in. So
Uh-oh. Did we lose Sea-Dog?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, what'd you do? Hit the mute button by accident?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he was a good coach. Like, he had a really good record going into this year. I mean, they had a bad year. But, I mean, it is what it is. Their first year in the FBS, but they fired him, dude. And
what's cool?
Like Marshall let go of their coach that won the conference.
Oh yeah,
he got hired away.
Well, that screwed them royally. Now, didn't they have didn't the entire team transfer or something? Like they didn't even get to play in a bowl game.
Yeah.
Oh, they had like 35 opt-outs of the bowl game. They couldn't even. They couldn't even. They had to forfeit the bowl. I think that's what got some 5-7 team ended up making a bowl because of it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was Navy that was supposed to play Marshall in the bowl.
Army, yeah.
Army, sorry.
Army. But yeah, we hired Kennesaw State's coach. Said all that to say that. As an analyst.
As an analyst, okay.
Yeah, he used to be Paul Johnson's offensive coordinator. Because he ran the triple option.
Oh God, why? That's the most Georgia Tech shit I've heard all year.
Well, at least
what the hell, man?
Analyst, man, come on.
You hired a triple option coach?
I mean, yeah, as an analyst. Come on, man. We're not running the triple option no more. Y'all got to give me hell for it. He's a good coach. It's a good.
I can see.
Really good coach
compared to the past. Analyst. Compared to the past 5 years, you were doing better under the triple option.
Well, I'd take what Key's doing now over triple option.
Yeah, I think going back to triple option would be a death nail for Georgia Tech.
We might as well jump down the group of 5.
Yeah. But is Paul Johnson just not coaching at all? He's retired, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
probably.
Yeah.
Did I see the Duke coach push an innocent Clemson student on it? Yeah. So, boy, I learned this about Duke basketball fans. They're about as big as crybabies as Ohio State fans whenever they lose a game.
Oh, Lord.
God almighty. But, yeah, the coach afterwards... Clemson's Duke was ranked number 2. It's been I don't know how many years since Clemson beat Duke in Little John at Clemson. They beat him in Cameron last year, but anyway, so the students stormed the court, of course, and of course the Duke head coach was on afterwards crying about it, and he ended up pushing a student on the ground, I think. Now, I didn't see the video. I just saw him talking about it, saying that, no disrespect to Clemson or Brad Brownell or anybody, but the way they stormed the court there, and Clemson is dangerous for everybody. And I don't necessarily disagree with him, honestly. I mean, your players are trying to get off the court, and you got a bunch of fucking maniac 18-year-old kids running at you, sticking phones in your face. I mean... It's just a matter of time before somebody gets knocked out. I mean, by a punch. I'm not talking about by getting knocked down.
Well, didn't that happen during football season too? I don't remember who it was now, but somebody rushed the field and come running at one of the opposing players that had just lost and shoved him to the ground.
Yeah. I mean, if you're pissed off, you just lost a close game. And you got some little punk ass zit face fuck runs up in your face with a phone in your face. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely gonna cross my mind to fucking hit him. And I'm peaceful.
Now Pete doesn't want to storm in the field. You're going full Celine Driver on us?
No, I mean, I don't care about storming the field really. It's just, I don't know. I mean, first of all, a basketball court's different than a basketball court's a lot smaller than a football field. There's more room to run on a football field. I mean, you've got Little John holds 30,000. I mean, it's a big coliseum. Their basketball coliseum. And it was sold out. You've got tens of thousands of people running on the court all at one time. I mean, I don't know. I get it. if I was a student, I'd do it too. I'm not saying I wouldn't, but I mean, I wouldn't do it as a grown man because that would be embarrassing.
Are you gonna do it when we beat y'all at Bobby Dodd this year?
Will I storm Georgia Tech's field after we beat you? Yes, I will.
After you beat us, yeah. You're gonna storm you storm other people's fields too?
Yeah, why not? I'm a tater man.
Jeez.
Storm everything.
No, what's way more embarrassing than that is storming the university president's house. That's way more embarrassing.
Yeah, and jumping in his pool.
What? That's not embarrassing. That's freaking awesome.
Man, keep telling yourself that.
Whatever.
I'm
your little jelly.
I'm still I'm convinced that you have some sort of like some sort of parasite or brain eating amoeba from jumping in that green pool. Didn't you say you got sick after that?
Yeah, very sick. Yeah.
That's one of the funny.
Like I've had one of those working on me for a while.
One of the funniest videos I've ever seen in my life. It's not even just Sea Dog. It was the whole scene. They walk up to this guy's house. How many people would you estimate that were there were?
Oh, there's tons of people, man. Tons of people.
I bet, like, are we talking like 500 or like 5,000?
Hundreds of people.
It was a huge crowd. The hugest crowd's a huge crowd.
It was the biggest crowd that's ever stormed.
Crowd ever.
The
It
biggest.
was hundreds of people. Yeah.
And they all, you know, it's a fenced-in property, isn't it? I mean, there's like a gate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know, any normal person would see a gate and go, well, this is private property. If they don't let you, if the gate's locked, that means we're probably not allowed in there. Well, not them. They first of all, they all start jumping. There's like a brick wall where this gate is. They all start jumping over the brick wall. Sea Dog looks around and runs, and he's like, fuck jumping over this thing. He runs around it.
Yeah.
I wanted to see you.
I climbed one wall, but I was like, yeah, I mean, this one's a little too tall. So yeah, there was a stream of people going around it too. So that's what I did.
Yeah, work smarter, not harder, I guess. Then they get back to the pool area, and it's one thing to gather around a pool and start jumping in the pool and throw they threw the goalpost in there too, didn't they?
Oh yeah.
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 But you can see the house in the background, and it's like it's a 2-story house, and there's like a wraparound porch on the second story, like a balcony. And there's people climbing up the side of this guy's fucking house.
Yeah, and jumping in the pool from the balcony.
Yeah. And that's probably like where the master bedroom is, where they were jumping from. That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I ran into someone there who's like, "Hey, are you Sea Dog?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Can I get a picture?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then we took a picture, and I'm like, hold my phone and film me jumping in.
Yeah. Some guy came over, took a picture with him, and he's like, hold my phone while I jump in here. He did a pretty good job of...
let's get some pictures and video evidence of this...
this crime.
At the very least, misdemeanor we're all committing.
Well, I faced no freaking consequences, and I was prepared to face any consequences. Well, not really, because when the police showed up, I was freaking hauling ass.
What game was this after again? I forget.
You forget?
Yeah, what game was it after? I forgot too.
You both forgot? Are you screwing around?
No, I'm
just forgot. I have a short memory.
The Miami game.
The Miami game, yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't ever want to hear again that Miami's irrelevant if you're storming the university president's house after beating us.
Well,
I don't want to hear that Georgia Tech's irrelevant. Because
as much as you think Miami and a lot of other people think Miami's irrelevant, like there's a reason they get put in the national title conversation at the beginning of every year, because they actually do have enough talent to do it. Same as Clemson, same as Florida State.
Miami was relevant for most of this year. It's just usually they're not. I mean, for years they have not been.
Well, for years they've had the talent to do it. They've just underachieved.
Right.
I got a question for you, Slim. I don't know the laws in Georgia, but let's say that now the university president whose house that was, he wasn't there. I don't think. Is that right, Sea Dog? He wasn't in the house.
He doesn't live there. He lives in like a high rise in Atlanta.
So why does he have that house then?
Well, it's just there for whatever university president wants it, I guess.
Oh, so like the school owns the house. It's not his house.
Right. Oh, all right. Never mind then. I was about to say, what if he was in there sleeping and he's awakened by all of you idiots out in the backyard, and he walks out there with a gun and shoots somebody for trespassing? Does he get?
Well, I would hope that the president of the school's not sleeping while we're facing the number 4 team in the country.
Well, you never know.
And at 4 in the afternoon.
I can't speak to Georgia law, but under Tennessee law, you would be completely justified in mowing them all down with a Rambo M60.
That would be a really good idea to do to your freaking students that are stoked on the football team.
Yeah, I don't care, man. If somebody climbs up on my if people are climbing on my house, I got a problem with that.
Well, it's school property anyway.
I mean, you can go swimming in my brown pool all you want, but just don't climb on my house, please. Is that too much to ask?
State of Missouri takes it even a step farther. You're legally allowed to shoot somebody to prevent them from coming onto your property.
Damn. Jay just sent me a short clip. It's like a 5-second clip here of the Duke coach pushing down a Clemson player. Let's watch this here.
I thought it was a student.
Well, you know what? That's the first time I've seen that video, and I don't blame him at all. I mean, that kid kind of ran up on him.
Yeah, right.
And put his hands on him.
He didn't go full LeGarrette Blunt and like KO your ass.
And he immediately got tackled by security. So.
Yeah, like if you notice when people rush the field at a football game, they don't rush at the coach.
No.
For a reason.
Yeah, certain coaches you might not have to worry about, but certain coaches you don't want to run up on. That's for sure.
Yeah, like I wouldn't run up on Mario, Brent Key, or Dabo.
No, I wouldn't run up on Mario. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Mario will fuck you up. You don't need them state troopers. Well, Brent Key's not a small guy either.
Yeah, we need to do a ACC coach battle royale.
Listen, there isn't a coach in the country that Mario couldn't take.
Brent Key would whoop his ass.
Okay, Mario fucking twist him into a pretzel.
I think. Well, since Mario does train in martial arts, I think he has an upper hand. Now he has let himself go a little bit. He's got some man tits going on, so I don't know if he's training anymore.
We're they're at least a 1 and 2 seed.
I think Dabo. I don't know how he can fight, but he's in great shape. I mean,
Dabo. That's exactly what I was going to say about Dabo. Like, and he tries to. Yeah, I think that's why he wears the sweatshirts to try and hide it.
He's jacked, man.
It's like a spider monkey.
Yeah, he's got one of those. Like his shoulders. He almost has no neck left. Yeah. Yeah, but Dabo's in good shape. Plus, he doesn't drink or anything, or. Supposedly he wakes up every morning and runs the steps at Death Valley or something. I don't know if that's true or myth, but yeah. I don't know. I think
probably not every morning. I mean, not with the schedule these coaches have these days.
Yeah, but I think Mario and Dabo would be a good fight. What about Fran Brown? He seems scrappy.
Ooh.
I like to see Fran Brown and Brent Key fight.
I mean, the only problem with Fran Brown, though, is he's a midget.
He's all fucking no bite.
I mean, he's like 5'6".
No, he's not.
Flex. He would get flattened.
I think he looks short compared. I mean, he might be like 5'9" or something. He looks short compared to those, 6'4", 6'5" players, but he seems scrappy though. Who would get their ass?
Got a little attitude on him.
Who would get their ass whipped the worst? Well, it's got to be Bill Belichick now. I mean, he's 73 years old.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, well, Matt Brown finally retired, so North Carolina. Oh wait, It's freaking.
Well, don't forget, Kyle Whittingham's pushing 70.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Well, they're very low.
No, I know Kirby Smart was what was he, a defensive back or something?
He was a linebacker, I think.
Linebacker? Yeah. Well, he's about 8,000 Bud Lights away from being a linebacker for Georgia, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's in linebacker shape no more.
But hey, he's still he was a safety. See, I told you he was a defensive back. I knew that.
Listen, you ain't coming out with frosted tips and somebody's worried about losing to you in a fight.
Yeah, nobody's scared
he's
of
short too.
Nobody's scared of a fat guy and a lady's golf cap with frosted tips. But you, I don't know. If you're ever like an elite athlete or even just a good athlete, even when you let yourself go, you still got that inside of you somewhere. So he's probably more scrappy than we think. You know.
That doesn't mean he can fight worth shit, though.
I think Brent Pryor probably whipped somebody's ass. He just
I can see that.
He just seems like a good old boy.
Like.
You don't know what Brent Pryor looks like?
Nah. I don't remember.
More importantly, do you know what he sounds like?
I don't know.
He's a good old boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's about as country as they come.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Who else?
Dan Mullen thought he was a tough guy.
Oh, Dan Mullen just did the whole hold me back thing. That's all that was.
Yeah, but he did it when fucking Vanderbilt had that big-ass Samoan as their head coach.
I could whip Dan Mullen's ass.
Shane Beamer tried the same shit against Brett Bielema in the bowl game.
Yeah. Brett Bielema would have just fucking threw him on the ground and sat on him.
Oh, I'm about to say, I mean, you sit there, just dodge for 2 minutes, and Brett Bielema's going to be out of breath. He's about $4 bills.
He doesn't need to do anything. I mean, Shane Beamer's not any sort of physical specimen. I mean, come on, man. He's got dad bod to the nth degree.
Have y'all seen the guy on TikTok that looks like Shane Beamer? You know what I'm talking about?
No, but I need to find this immediately.
Oh my God, you haven't seen it? I'm talking about a doppelganger, but he's built like an Oompa
Loompa. How do I find him?
I don't even know what you would look up Shane Beamer look-alike. I don't know. He posts a video of him dancing, and his body shape is hilarious, and it looks just like Shane Beamer.
It's funny. That's the first thing that comes up on Google when you search it. Oh, yeah, here he is. Oh, my God, he does look like him.
See?
He looks like a... I can't even say what he looks like on here. I'll get fucking kicked off.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's
Hold on.
wild.
Let me pull this up. You guys got to see this shit.
You got to pull the video of him dancing.
This is something else here. Oh my God, his name on TikTok is Shane Beamer lookalike.
Wow.
How have I never seen this before?
I'm shocked you haven't seen that before. That's like you're slacking as a rival.
Well, hold on. That's the one thing about TikTok.
Slacking.
As soon as you pull it up, it just starts playing. You don't have any time to do anything. Come on, calm down. God damn it. All right, here we go. Here it is, everybody. Can I full screen this somehow? I hate TikTok. Anyway, here it is. What in the hell? I don't know. Was that you that said that? It looks like if you cut off Shane Beamer's actual head and pasted it on top of an Oompa Loompa.
I'm telling you, dude.
That's what it looks like.
I'm telling you. It's ridiculous.
I can't see it, but I can promise you I'm going to be searching it immediately after I
Dude,
get off
this,
show.
you know what this looks like? If you mix, if Christian Ballard was Shane Beamer's son.
Oh my God. That's dirty.
Oh, there's Ballard. Sorry, Ballard's in the chat.
Ballard catching strays. Damn.
No, Ballard, you look better than this guy. All right. Oh my God.
I don't know, man. Shane Beamer definitely pulling more tail than Ballard.
Shane Beamer married?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's got like kids that come out and everything.
Yeah, he's got kids. Wow. Well, this kid has as many SEC championships as Shane Beamer does. So he probably got more followers too on TikTok.
Probably does.
Is that the only video of his? This video is courtesy of SEC Unfiltered, but does he have his own channel?
I have no idea.
I hope he does. So I can spend the next 12 hours going down a rabbit hole watching him.
But I mean, if just by virtue of how he looks, he should be a Clemson fan, and he could have millions of followers just making fun of Beamer.
Yeah, that's like prime stinger material.
Yeah, you're right. If he was smart, he would at least pretend to be a Clemson fan and just troll the shit out of South Carolina. You're right. Or pretend to be a South Carolina fan and just troll the shit out of Shane Beamer. This kid's probably like 20 years old. He looks like he's, Shane Beamer's age. Wow.
I mean, C-Dog's right, though. You're kind of slacking for not knowing about that.
Yeah, that's, man.
Yeah, I don't know how I didn't know about this.
I don't either, dude.
Well, I haven't been on TikTok in a long time. That's probably why.
Man, you don't know about this, and you're not constantly on TigerNet. You're just a bad Clemson fan.
I am. I know. I'm a fake fan. I'm feverishly searching TikTok for this guy, and I can't find him anywhere. There's a bunch of lookalikes on here, though. All right, get me off of TikTok. What am I doing? See what happens?
What are you doing?
That's why I don't go on TikTok. It sucks you in like a.
Dude, it does. That's why I've regretted getting a TikTok account ever since I made it.
Well, Tennessee and Kentucky are currently playing. For anybody who cares. And Tennessee's getting their ass whipped.
I'll say it ain't so.
Yeah, they're squid-tard. That brought them right out of there. Yeah, 35-25 with 30 seconds left in the first quarter here. Well, Tennessee was number one at Squid. They were number one last week, weren't? No, 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Last week Auburn was.
Oh, Tennessee fans have just been over the moon how they're ranked in football, ranked in basketball, and ranked in baseball.
Clemson can say the same. Right now, they can. I think Clemson is top 5 preseason in baseball. Their head coach is suspended for the first 2 games, though.
What do you do?
In the postseason last year, he got into an altercation with one of the umpires, and he got thrown out of the game, and they suspended. I forget exactly what happened.
Oh yeah.
I think it got a little, it went a little overboard, and they suspended the NCAA suspended there for 2 games. So you know what he's doing? This is the ultimate troll job, by the way. So for the first 2 games, he's not allowed to be at the game. So he's traveling to the city where they play, gonna post up in the hotel room and call the fucking game for, I think it's ESPN, from his hotel room.
You know what I would do? I'd have him put a mannequin in the dugout, dress it up in a uniform, and then like attach a like an iPad or something to his face and just call into the game, like a Zoom call.
I figure he's doing it. Either maybe it's the ACC network. Anyway, yeah, I thought that was funny. So he's going to be the one calling the game for his own team. Well, at least they can't, accuse him of calling in and giving pointers and cheating if he's going to be on the air the whole time.
This is true.
Because that's what they'll say. Oh, he cheated. He called in.
Oh, God, man. Since Sunday, the Twitter's been brutal to the Kansas City Chiefs. Good God.
Yeah, they've been brutal to Patrick Mahomes, too. And if for anybody who watched the game, I mean, did he play well? No. Did he have any help? No. I mean, his offensive line.
When D-Hop's out there dropping balls when there's nobody within 20 yards of him.
Yeah, receivers dropping balls. They couldn't run the ball. The offensive line was terrible. Like, what was he supposed to do? I mean, he was trying to. I mean, you could tell early in that game that he knew that it was a total mismatch, and so he was trying to be a hero, and that's why he threw 2 interceptions and he fumbled it once.
I mean, I'll give their defense some credit. They held up about as well as they could. I mean, it wasn't until late in the first quarter when Philly finally scored.
Yeah, it wasn't. It definitely was not Kansas City's defense fault. No, I mean,
we were talking about it during your stream. I mean, the one thing especially they did well was keep Saquon Barkley in check.
Yeah, they shut him down pretty much. Well, they shut the entire Kansas City offense down for the first 3.5 quarters. I mean, they scored a trash touchdown there at the end of that 60-yard bomb that Mahomes threw. But they didn't even cross the 50-yard line till about 4 minutes into the third quarter. Think about that.
Yeah.
That's a domination.
I heard Butker didn't even get to freaking kick a field goal.
Yeah, because
I didn't watch a lick of the game.
Yeah, because they were down the whole game. The field goal didn't do them any good. They were down so bad.
That sucks.
Now, on the other hand, what was that guy's name? Elliott, the kicker for Philly? God damn, talk about being in the zone. That guy couldn't miss.
Dude, they had a penalty on every field goal he kicked, so he had to kick all of them twice.
Yeah, and he made all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he was on the money. It just wasn't Kansas City's night, and they got exposed a little bit with the offensive line and their lack of receivers. I mean, yeah, this is what happens in the NFL when you pay somebody $500 million. Eventually, the rest of your roster starts to suffer because you can't pay guys. I mean, you go and get an old DeAndre Hopkins on the downside of his career, and he's supposed to be your number one receiver. I mean.
Well, it wasn't just him. I mean, Travis Kelce didn't even show up to the game.
Oh, God, Kelce was terrible. He dropped a couple of balls, too.
Yeah, he did. And they wanted to get an attitude with somebody on the field.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't watch it. We didn't even have people over Saturday night. Sunday night. We just went ahead and had our Super Bowl party Saturday.
You had your Super Bowl party on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I have never heard of anybody say that before.
Well, I mean, it just wasn't like, it's like
at Georgia Tech, you can do that.
So what did you do at the Super Bowl party on Saturday? How was the game? That sounds about right. Something tells me
technical difficulties.
Something tells me they didn't watch the Super Bowl. They just watched the reruns of the Miami and Georgia Tech game over and over again.
That probably is.
It wasn't Georgia Tech fans. It was all my friends that I don't know. We didn't miss much either. I mean, we just kind of hung around, played some games, and I had some food, made some food, and we just had a good time.
Well, so you didn't have a Super Bowl party. You just had a party.
No, it was a Super Bowl party. Look, it's not about the day. It's about getting together with your friends. I mean, and
No, it quite literally is about the day on Super Bowl Sunday. Yeah.
Oh, it's like
it quite
Christmas.
literally is.
Yeah.
It's like Christmas. You can celebrate it. You can celebrate it another time other than the day.
Well, the last time I saw, there wasn't a Christmas game on TV.
Well, I'm not talking about football. I'm just talking about I'm talking about Christmas, the holiday.
Well,
Like,
you're literally, you named your party after a game, but you didn't have your party even the day of the game. That's like celebrating Christmas on the day after Christmas.
Uh-oh, he just left. Either he dropped his phone into a paint can. Here he is.
Dang it! I'm sorry. I kicked myself out by accident. But yeah, it's like
T-Dog,
you know,
you need to you buried yourself in a deep enough hole.
we didn't
It's
have
like right
Christmas.
before you poop.
We didn't have Christmas with my wife's family until like sometime in January. Like we couldn't get to it.
Yeah, but that's
So,
not
we
the same
just-
thing.
Well, I don't see a difference.
This was the most watched Super Bowl in history with like 130 million people, but you weren't one of them.
No.
Now, did you see the viewership for the national title game was down this year?
Yeah.
All the SEC fans have made sure to let us know that the viewership was down.
Well, there's a lot of theories about that. I mean, the playoffs in general were down compared to the 14 playoff because there was more games, and some of those, well, especially the first round, were competing against NFL games, which I don't know who's.
Well, I mean, I hate to say that football is going to encompass this, but sometimes less is more.
Yeah.
Well, the viewership was down, but they still made more money this season than they've ever made before off of ad revenue.
Well, I mean, NFL viewership is down, but they're making more money because they're also charging more money than they've ever charged before.
Yeah.
But like, did you see what the average ticket price has gone up to for the Super Bowl now?
Whatever it is insane. I know that.
$5,600.
Yeah. That's the average.
Yeah.
Yeah, we looked at Super Bowl.
Nosebleed tickets are going to cost you $1,000.
We looked at the Super Bowl ticket prices last week, and I think the cheapest one that was available like midweek last week was $4,500, and that was, essentially out of the stadium. I mean, the very, very top nosebleed seat you could get was $4,500.
That's
but I mean, look, college. C-Dog, what's going on? You got an echo going on.
Huh? I don't know.
All
I
right,
didn't do anything.
it's gone now. I think. Yeah, it's gone now. College sports will never have the viewership that professional sports do. Like the College World Series will never have the same numbers as the actual World Series. The College Football National Championship will never have the same numbers as the Super Bowl, so on and so forth. Just because they're mostly small market teams, and just like everything else, the big cities, dictate viewership in New York, L.A., Houston, Chicago.
Yeah.
And those markets don't really have much interest in college athletics, even though college is a better product on a lot of different levels. Well, at least for now. But the NCAA is doing the best way they can to screw that up too. But for now, anyway.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, people in charge get this thought in their head that because they're doing something right, that whatever they come up with to do is going to be right.
Yeah. So you didn't watch the Super Bowl at all, C-Dog?
No, I just wasn't interested. That's why I'm glad I went ahead and got the party out of the way the night before.
Now, hold on. I got to ask this. If you weren't interested in the Super Bowl, why'd you even have a Super Bowl party, whether it was on the same day or not?
Well, we have a party every year for the Super Bowl.
You had a Super Bowl party but didn't watch the Super Bowl.
Well, it was Saturday. We couldn't watch the Super Bowl.
Well, I just assumed you had it on Saturday because, Monday's a work day and whatnot. So you just did it on Saturday, but you'd still watch the game on Sunday, even if it was by yourself. Like, what, let me ask you this. What were you doing at 6:37 p.m. on Sunday? You're playing that fucking game, weren't you? He was.
Yeah. Yeah, I was. I was. But I didn't miss anything. I missed a freaking blowout, an NFL game. Whoop-de-doo.
You missed the halftime show that everyone loves so much.
Well, I'm not a Kendrick Lamar fan, so
Yeah.
I didn't care much about that either.
Yeah, well, I didn't watch the halftime show.
Ow.
And I didn't care about the halftime show because until now, I didn't tell anybody that I didn't watch the halftime show.
I did watch the halftime show, but I did not hear the halftime show, which is even worse.
Remember, Pete, that's why I kept asking you if the game was back on, because I wasn't watching the halftime show.
I was on the air, so I couldn't have the volume up. So I was watching what was going on, but couldn't hear it, which is even, that's not a good way to watch the halftime show. But the biggest winner of the halftime show, I think, was Drake. Talk about a guy who wasn't even in the country. I think he was in Australia at the time. Wasn't at the game, wasn't in the country, but his name came up 500 times during the halftime show. That's what I call that free publicity.
He's fucking Canadian anyway, fucking.
Yeah.
Ow.
Squid says that's like having a Christmas party, but you celebrate Hanukkah.
Yeah, right.
No, we celebrated the freaking Super Bowl. We just didn't watch it.
No, you didn't.
We celebrated it. Yes, we did.
No, you can't say that.
Yeah.
No, he's right. That's like being Jewish and celebrating Christmas on Christmas Eve.
No, it's not. And
Yes,
that would be
it
like
is.
that would be like if I celebrated that would be like if I celebrated the World Cup on Super Bowl Sunday or something. If I had my World Cup party.
I feel like I'm in the fucking Twilight Zone. I mean, I can't see the comments section, but is literally Steve-Dog the only person this shit is making any sense to?
Yeah, I think so.
Have you guys never had like, oh, you can't get together on Thanksgiving because of, whatever?
Well, no, but the point is, you're having a Super Bowl party, but you don't care about the Super Bowl.
Well, we cared about
Jews,
it. I mean,
and not only
don't
that,
care about Christmas, but that's why they don't celebrate it.
plus it's
we
like
care about it. We watch it every year.
if you have Christmas on Christmas Eve, it's because, like in my case, there's too many people. You have to have multiple Christmases, like one on Christmas Eve, one on Christmas, or whatever. Or something's going on Christmas where you can't do it. But that doesn't mean on Christmas you don't celebrate Christmas. Like, for instance, this past weekend was my youngest son's birthday. Well, his birthday was on Monday, but we celebrated his birthday on Saturday with his friends and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, but on his actual birthday on Monday, we still acknowledged it and celebrated it, even though we had already done it on Saturday.
Well, I mean,
You know what you should have done, Pete? Should have had an election party and invited your mother-in-law.
Oh God! Don't even get me started with that.
in theory, I could have watched the game. I just didn't want to.
Hey, my mother-in-law is an Eagles fan, too.
Well, I take it she's in a better mood then.
Yeah, I think she is. I have great news for everybody on the ACC show. Sea-Dog is done painting.
Oh, no, I finished painting a while ago. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
I finished painting a while ago. I had to do the dishes after that.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you played video games all day, and then within the last hour, you had to cram in painting the bathroom and doing the dishes.
Yeah. Yeah. I was supposed to bring over stuff from storage, but I didn't do that, though.
Are you not moved in yet?
We are, but there's still a ton of boxes in storage that we need to go through. But I don't think they need to be gone through because it's all like seasonal stuff. So I don't know.
Don't you have storage there?
Oh, we do, but it's my granny and papa's storage, and we want to get out of their way, you know. But
Billy Cole wants to know: are you still married? Yeah, he is.
yeah,
Barely.
we made it through this freaking house debacle. We can make it through.
I feel like this is the longest move-in in the history of move-ins. Like you've been. This is going on what? Oh, this is over a year now, isn't it? When'd you sell your house?
Right before the softball game, the last softball game, slob softball game.
So almost a year.
Well,
the softball game. How that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, almost 2 years ago.
Damn.
I mean, we moved in here in November, around Thanksgiving. So, and we've just been slowly like improving the house over time. We took a break because we went hard on the house for like a year, you know, living in the camper and moving around, and it was terrible. So we took a break, but we're starting to, you know, we're just slowly making improvements to the house over time.
Yeah, you lived in that camper for over a year.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
Never want to do that again.
Have you set up your I don't even know what to call it, man cave, studio, Georgia Tech room, like what you had at your old house?
No, that's going to be another building.
Another building?
Oh, she's
like
making she's putting him in a she shed.
She shed, yep.
I wish I had a she shed. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we're me and my brother are going to make it into like a man cave / mother-in-law suite, and he wants to live there. B-Dog.
He wants to live there?
Yeah. And like a mother-in-law suite. He's 19. He recently moved out. So
yeah.
He wants to.
So he's gonna go from mooching off one set of people.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. So basically, what you're saying is he wants to mooch off of you for a couple of years.
I told him if he helps me pay to build it, then he can live there without rent or reduced rent.
That sounds like a good deal for him.
It's a good deal for me too, because it's gonna be probably pretty expensive.
Yeah.
But he's gonna be.
I mean, it might take you guys 3 months to build it, and then he lives there for 3 years. He's getting the better end of the deal.
Well, that's fine because I
and
get
then
my little brother.
After 3 years, you're ready to kick him the fuck out.
I'm sure he'll want to go out the first time he brings home a girl home, and he's got to walk through the room, and I'm in there yelling like, "God dang Yellow Jackets!" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I'm sure that he'll love that.
Well, you invited me to come stay there for a weekend and hang out and stay in that she shed, but now your brother's living there. That's his apartment. I can't do that.
Well, sure you can.
What are we gonna do?
You can shack up with B-Dog.
Before he moves in, I'll let you come stay. How about that?
Okay. Before he moves in, so I have a window.
Yeah, a window.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, we're hoping to get started on that this year, but it'll probably take longer than 3 months to build. Well, the main thing is just getting the money together.
How big is?
I'm trying to reduce even having a guest bedroom if I can help it, because they tend to get occupied by somebody. So I don't even want a spare fucking bedroom.
Yeah,
we do have a spare bedroom in the house too.
Oh, so I can't sleep in there? You're gonna put me in the fucking shed?
Well, I thought you might have wanted to sleep in the shed.
Why would I want to sleep in a shed as opposed to a house?
It's more like a mother-in-law suite.
Oh.
Of course, you can sleep in the guest bedroom.
Slim is right though. When you have a guest bedroom, it's like having a pickup truck, you know, and your friends don't have a pickup truck, so every time they need a pickup truck, they're calling you for a pickup truck.
Exactly.
Yeah,
because
same thing.
I'm also the guy with not just one pickup truck, but two.
Oh God, I bet your phone's ringing off the hook.
Oh, dude, and it never fails. Like when I say that if you have a spare bedroom, it gets filled. At one point, my father-in-law was here. At one point, my mother was here.
They were at the same time.
Well, yeah, they were at the same time. Excuse me. And hell, we had a one-bedroom apartment with no spare bedrooms, and I had fucking moochers sleeping on my couch.
Well, that's the one upside to having a spare bedroom is you don't have people sleeping on your couch. You know.
Well, I was hoping sticking them on the couch, they'd hurry up and get the hell out.
She Shed is like a tiny home. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is he going to have a bathroom in it?
of course. Yeah, full bathroom.
Like, how many square feet are we talking here?
I was thinking maybe 25 by 25 or 30 by 30 or something like that.
Okay.
So, you know, a bigger footprint than my old man cave. Well, I want to do 2 floors. So, you know, the downstairs will be the man cave and the upstairs would be the
Like the bedroom?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a kitchenette type deal?
Oh yeah, kitchenette, yeah. And what's cool is we have furniture. We have a ton of furniture that left over from the house that we can't fit in this house, so we could, you know, furnish it too. We've got okay.
Yeah, when we build the house, we're gonna build a barn in the back, and it's gonna have an extra 25 by 30 room in there.
Cool.
Maybe 25 by 20.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, barn.
Yeah, well, it'll give me a place to, because I'm going to have a bunch of land, so I'm going to need a tractor to cut the yard. Give me a place to park it and work on it. Give me a place to park the boat, park the four-wheeler, you know, all that kind of stuff, and keep them out of the weather.
Yeah.
And then the only reason I wanted a room on it was so I'd have somewhere to set up all my reloading equipment that's not in the house.
Plus, if you get kicked out, you can sleep in there. Like if I get kicked out, I have to go to a hotel, which is no fun. You know, I'd rather just walk outside and sleep in a barn.
Well, I also I'm gonna make sure my name's on it. That way, you can tell me to get out. Doesn't mean I'm gonna do it. I know I still annoy her sometimes just so she'll go sleep on the couch.
Zona Man wants to know, is Sea Dog's house almost done? I'm going to go ahead and answer for him and say no. Based on what I just saw.
It's done. So the house is done, like the house. We have the mud room. I had them like add in a wall after the fact. So that's what I was painting.
What were you? There wasn't a bathroom?
No, it was we had a water heater, and I basically just put a tiny little room around the water heater.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was water heater's in my mud room.
So I just added like 2 small walls, and I was just painting that.
It was a couple of months ago I called you, and and the inspector was there. You remember that?
Yeah.
That was when I was calling everybody and wishing them a Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
or a Merry Christmas it was.
That inspector tore me a new one, dude.
Yeah, I tried to get you to put the inspector on the phone and live on the midday show, but you said no to that.
Yeah, I didn't need him.
It's probably a good thing you did that. I would have got your house failed. I promise you I would have.
Oh, we failed bad.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, you would have thought by the things that the way he was acting, all the giant list he made, that the place is like condemned and is about to fall apart.
What'd you fail on?
All kind of stuff, dude. He goes under the sink, and this is what I'm dealing with, right? I'm going off of basically the advice from my papa. He's the one, quote unquote, helping me through this entire thing. So my papa, I ask him how to plumb the sink, and he tells me, he draws me a diagram and everything. So I do it exactly how he says, and I sent him a picture of it, and he's like, "Man, that looks good. Yeah, good job." So I call in the inspector. He writes down on the sheet, "Redo kitchen plumbing. Nothing is correct."
Damn.
Yeah.
You realize they've changed building codes since Fred Flintstone was running around, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was like, I don't even know what to put on here.
What was wrong? What was wrong with the plumbing?
And I asked my papa. He told my papa, and my papa was like, "There's nothing wrong with it. He just wants it done a different way." So it's just stuff like that. He wants like a pan under my AC unit, and he wants it like piped out or whatever.
Well, there should be a pan underneath your AC unit.
I don't know. I guess there isn't. We have a weird. We have a vented mini split doing our house.
Yeah, I basically have the same thing. What they did on mine, and I actually have to give them credit. It's smart. The condensation pan, you know how you have to run, you have to run a piece of pipe, and most people just normally just run it outside.
That's what he wants. Yeah.
Well, what they did here is they ran it to my kitchen wall and ran it down and tied it into the drain for the sink.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. So what else did you fail on besides the terrible plumbing?
Just stuff like that. Oh, we built a new deck, and even though throughout the entire building process, there was a deck there, you know, we didn't touch it until the very end. And no one said anything about it. We tore it down and put a new one there, the same size. And now all of a sudden he wants to inspect it and determines that the power line is too close to the deck now, even though it's the same height as the old one. It never came up in the old inspections.
What do you mean the power?
You know what I do in those situations? I just don't tell them I built a new deck.
Well, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, it's like new wood. Yeah.
The front deck, yeah, and the old one was, you know, dilapidated.
The power line wasn't underground?
No, the line coming to my house that powers my house from the street.
Right. It's not underground?
No, it's not. It comes.
No, most places the shit's not run underground.
Yeah, it comes to my roof. Yeah, I don't live in a cult neighborhood.
Oh.
So
well, like the only place where it's done like that around here is in Memphis.
So it's 2 inches too close to my deck.
Put a zip tie on it.
2 inches, yeah. Yeah, so I got lucky though. The power company said that well, they have to come out and put an entire new pole.
Damn.
To fix the issue. But yeah, so that's annoying. But they said they do it for free because it's technically them that's out of code.
Right.
So, and I'm getting a pole right next to where my man cave is going to go. So when the time comes, I can just go off that. So that's nice at least. But it's just stuff like that, you know.
So you fixed the plumbing, you fixed the pan thing. Yeah, you got
I haven't done any of that shit.
Oh, so you're still a failure.
Yeah, no, after that we put all of our eggs into the basket of moving in. We were counting on passing that inspection. But we didn't. So we were just like, you know what? Screw it. We're just moving in anyway. So we don't have a CO, but it is what it is.
This guy sounds like a complete nerd, this inspector guy.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, some of them are picky, some of them aren't.
He ticky-tacked us on freaking everything, dude.
Does Mrs. Sea Dog have a hot girlfriend that can walk around in the bikini next time he comes and distract him or something?
I don't know. I was considering trying to bribe him because, like, it's worth it to just bribe him and like pass us.
Yeah, just give him a couple $100 handshake.
A few $100. I would totally do that, but I don't know. We haven't even began to do that list, and it was like early January. We're just so done, man. This whole process has been terrible.
So what you're saying is right now you're living illegally.
Yeah, but we've been living illegally since.
Are you worried that Trump might deport you for this?
I'm still a citizen.
Oh.
But yeah, I better not get deported out of my own house. What they can do is come shut off my power. That would suck. But
yeah, they can shut off your power. They can shut off your water.
Yeah, but I mean, they haven't. It's just whether or not they'll enforce it, and they're not going to know until I call them out here again to and do a final inspection. They're not going to know that I've been living here. But
yeah, I avoid that kind of shit if at all possible. Like I've done some things to this house that technically I was probably supposed to pull a permit for, but fuck them.
Right.
They might deport you and put you in an internment camp in Athens, Georgia.
Uh-oh.
Athens, Georgia. No.
Yeah. You might want to get that cleared up quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Yeah, I better get this stuff figured out. Then.
Imagine ICE comes there and they arrest you, and FBI comes in and starts raiding your computer and sees that you broke into your university president's house.
Oh no,
that's a double charge.
I live on the edge, man. I live on the edge.
Yeah, your cousin Casey says you're basically a squatter at this point. Yeah.
I mean, in legal terms, he is. Yeah.
It's squatting. Well, he has been squatting for the past a year and a half.
Yoda T, what is that supposed to mean? It's that comment's pretty funny. He says the more Sea Dog talks, I see why he celebrates the Super Bowl, not on the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What is that supposed to mean?
You're the first person in history that's ever had a Super Bowl party on Saturday, dude. I'm sorry.
And then didn't even watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah, then didn't watch the Super Bowl.
In a normal situation, I would watch the Super Bowl on Sunday, even if I had the party on Saturday. But I just wasn't interested in seeing the freaking Chiefs play the Eagles again.
What game would have interested you? Like what matchup?
Other game. It's just lame. It's the same freaking team. I mean, it's the Chiefs 3 years in a row or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and plus it was a blowout. So I didn't know.
Well, you didn't know that ahead of time unless you got a hold of the script.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I was checking up on it. We went out. I forget what, but we had to go out, and then we got back around the first quarter, and it was already like 17-0.
Casey, I think you just uncovered the truth here. I didn't even think about that.
Oh my God.
You didn't like the fact that there were so many Georgia players on Philadelphia.
Well, of course.
That's what it is.
They're my most hated team.
That's what it is. I'm actually starting to think you're lying. You actually did watch it.
I did not watch that shit.
You hate watched it.
No, I didn't hate watch.
And you might have turned it off about halftime.
That would be a very Sea Dog thing to do because he constantly hate watches Georgia.
Yeah. Do you have a Kansas City Chiefs hat?
Hats for opposing teams.
Yeah, well, I don't do that anymore. Ever since I stopped doing that, they stopped winning national championships. So,
Damn.
Yeah. Turns out I was causing them to win national championships. But not anymore.
Well, 3 Clemson players got rings for Philadelphia. Was there any Miami guys? I'm sure there were.
There was, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a list of who, but, I mean, everybody does this kind of crap, but I guess it is a feather in the cap of Miami that they have the longest streak of players scoring a touchdown in that Super Bowl.
I think Sea Dog was mad that the Lions didn't make the Super Bowl. Is that true?
Oh,
why would Sea Dog be a Lions fan?
Oh,
I mean, it would kind of make sense.
Because
why not just go ahead and be a Falcons fan?
His favorite player plays for the Lions.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to freaking.
That's what it is.
Jahmyr Gibbs blew out his knee, didn't he?
He did?
No.
I thought he did.
No, he didn't.
Maybe I'm mistaken.
That was the other running back.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
The other Lions running back.
I mean, I didn't watch any of the playoff games that Tampa wasn't in, but I did watch Super Bowl.
Now we're getting to the bottom of it. All the Georgia players on Philadelphia. No Jahmyr Gibbs. No Lions. So he had this. This is pre-planned. What he did.
Well, here's a question. Now, who claims a natty after Jalen Hurts won the Super Bowl? Oklahoma or Alabama?
Well, they're both doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
If Alabama is claiming Jalen Hurts, then by law they cannot claim Jahmyr Gibbs.
That's a good point.
Yeah, they can.
No.
By Gump logic, yeah, they can.
By Gump logic, yeah, of course. The Gump logic's undefeated.
Gump logic is about like those hypothetical SEC matchups against everybody.
Yeah, I can't compete with Gump logic.
I'm not sure that you want to, if we're just being honest.
Yeah, they would win for sure. But
Well, hypothetically.
Jalen Hurts got the last laugh, though. Saban benched him for Tua. And Jalen Hurts goes on to win a Super Bowl, and Tua's hot garbage in the NFL.
No, Tua's
he's not
pretty well.
All right, he's not hot garbage. I'm being too hard on him. And I like Tua. But Hurts is better. Well, he's definitely on a better team, too. That helps, I guess. But
Yeah, the Dolphins have no defense whatsoever. And honestly, I mean, their offense is kind of underperforming because you would think with, Tua playing well and then Jalen Waddle and Cheetah that their offense would, put up 50 points a game, but they don't.
yeah. They've got a lot of different
And now
problems.
Cheetah wants out of there now.
Yeah, the people that were claiming that, it was rigged for the Chiefs all season long. And then they go, okay, well, what about now? And they go, oh, no, well, now they got called out on it, so they had to make it look like it wasn't rigged for the Chiefs. Like the mental gymnastics that goes on with the NFL is rigged people is insane.
Like I said, I think they're just as funny, but I saw some shit this year made me raise an eyebrow or two. I'm like, what is going on here?
I mean, there were bad calls in the Super Bowl too, but against both teams, it wasn't one-sided. There was one egregious call that was missed against Philadelphia's defense, where any other game it would have been called roughing the passer or hands to the face or face mask or whatever. I mean, and they didn't call it, but there was a couple of bad pass interference calls. There was one for the Chiefs, one for the Eagles, both in the first half, I think. So I don't think it's rigged. I just think, bad calls happen.
Well, but on that play you're talking about where they missed the hands to the face, they did call an unsportsmanlike conduct.
Yeah,
So, it's pick your poison.
Yeah, they called it non-sports. Didn't they call that on the Chiefs though?
No, that was on Philly
Oh,
because it was on that strip sack.
yeah. It doesn't matter. The Chiefs the Eagles just dominated them. It wasn't even. That game was never in question from the word go. I mean,
Yeah, it really. I tell you what, when the Chiefs lose the Super Bowl, by God, they lose because they've lost a couple of them and they got absolutely blown out in both. Because you had this one and then the one a couple years ago against Tampa where they didn't even score a touchdown. Like Harrison Butker put up their only points against Tampa.
now I didn't hear because I was streaming the game, so I didn't have the volume up. But how did Tom Brady do as announcing the game?
I was listening to you. I wasn't listening to the
Okay.
commentary.
Well, and C-Dog didn't see it, so
nah.
so he doesn't know.
Sorry.
I mean, if he's anything like Tony Romo, he's probably pretty good.
Christian says he was no good. Bring back Greg Olson. Yeah, they fired Greg Olson and replaced him with Tom Brady. If I was Olson, I'd be pissed about that.
Yeah, maybe he'll come out with a diss track for Tom Brady.
Of course, Vic Tube has to be the contrarian here. Everybody's saying he was terrible, and Vic Tube said he did good.
Well, I'm gonna go. I don't know who's saying he's terrible, but Big Tube is a RA judge in my book.
I mean, I've heard him call games before, and it didn't, I don't know. It didn't sound terrible to me. I think people just don't like Tom Brady. That's what I think.
Yeah, there is a lot of just Tom Brady hate out there.
He sounded deflated. Oh, damn.
Mm.
I see what you did there.
Mm.
I see what you did there. There was a prop bet before the game about whether or not he would mention Gisele Bündchen, his ex-wife. And Mrs. Peete told me that. I'll go, why would he mention his ex-wife who's pregnant with another man's child on the Super Bowl broadcast?
Dang.
Damn, it didn't take her long, did it? Jesus.
Yeah, didn't it?
No.
Jeez.
It didn't take him long either. Have you seen his girlfriend?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's not pregnant.
Yeah, exactly. That's a win for him.
Exactly. Folks tried to tell you, Tom, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife.
There was a 17% chance, according to the bet, that he would mention Giselle. And I told her immediately, I said, no, he won't. Why would he?
I don't know why he would. I mean, you don't hear him talking about his other ex-wife ever that he's got.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I don't know. That's one of those dumb prop bets. Like, who cares if he mentions his ex-wife?
Well, it's just
If
like
people can gamble on it, they will. Which, speaking of which, I was listening to the Lunch Money show, and I heard that you were betting on freaking Kazakhstan hockey.
yeah, Asian hockey, and I won that bet. Thank you.
Kazakhstan's not Asian.
Well, that's what it's called on the betting site. It was Kazakhstan versus South Korea.
That is peak degeneracy, my friend.
Yeah, it was, and I won. So thank you.
Well, you know the MMA fighter Khabib Nurmagomedov. He's from Kazakhstan. Those aren't Asian people.
You know, yeah, Kazakhstan's like Eastern European, I think.
Yeah, it's one of those breakaway countries after the Soviet Union collapsed.
Yeah, no. So what happened was I made like 10 different bets on the Super Bowl, and after all those bets, I ended up $6.29 up. And
up is up.
The betting cycle is on a weekly basis, so it ends on Sunday at midnight or Monday at midnight, whatever, Monday morning. So since there was no other sports to bet on after the Super Bowl was over with, so I pulled up the betting app and opened it up, and the only thing was on was South Korea hockey versus Kazakhstan.
Hey man, you should stream that shit. It gives you shit to stream during the off season.
So I put $25 on it and won. So
that's what you should do on like Saturdays or something when you ain't got nothing going on. Just, I mean, I don't care if it's a baseball game, if it's, fucking curling championship, if it's, Texas A&M trying to defend their meat judging national title.
I might
fire up some random streams.
I probably will do some March Madness streams. Just, I mean, first of all, I got a bunch of people asking me like, why don't you stream any Clemson games at all? And of course, I just don't care about basketball. That's not going to change. But I'm running out of excuses. I'm like, there's no football on. If it's on a weekend, why not? I guess. So, if I'm streaming Asian hockey, I'm down real bad.
Hey man, you never know what'll hit. I mean, fuck. Bad Dog just randomly started streaming NBA games. Now he has to put out times for his viewers in the Philippines.
Oh no! During COVID, he was streaming Korean baseball at like 4:00 in the morning Eastern time.
Yeah, fuck it, man. Hey, make that money.
He was getting up at 3:00 in the morning to stream Korean baseball at 4 a.m.
Hey man, I think more Peete is great on YouTube.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Soccer, yeah. You know what? I should pretend to be a soccer fan.
Hey, you might if you pretend long enough, you might become a soccer fan.
Yeah, I pretended long enough about basketball, and from betting on it, I've watched so much of it. Now I'm starting to learn like who the players are and like who's where and what standings and shit now. So yeah. I guess fake it till you make it, right? Is the World Cup? Is the World Cup this year? When's the World Cup coming up?
I don't know. World Cup. Well, actually, I think it is this year.
Is it?
It doesn't like the Olympics and.
It's next year.
Okay. Yeah, next year's the one they're doing in like multiple places, like Mexico City and Miami and Vancouver or whatever.
They are?
I think they're doing it all over North, Central, and South America.
I'll have to learn the rules. I don't even know the rules of soccer. Mrs. Peete played soccer in high school. She could probably give me the rundown, I guess.
Yeah, Miss Shady did too. She played soccer in high school.
All Mrs. Peete did, though, was just run over. Like, all she was out there to do was just hurt people. Like, she didn't give a shit about even kicking the ball. She just wanted to run into people.
I mean, listen, I get tired watching soccer. I mean, the people running around that fucking much, Jesus.
The rule of soccer is to kick the ball. Yeah, I know that much. I know you're supposed to kick it inside of that net. But as far as all the other rules, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know the positions on soccer. Like, I know there's a forward, right?
I think there's a striker.
A striker.
Hey, lady, what are the positions of soccer?
Isn't there like a sweeper?
Yeah, well, yes, 20 years you've been out of high school. I get it. You're supposed to know this shit. What good are you?
Yeah, see?
God damn.
Oh, I know the goalie part.
Like 1 year.
So much for my, in-house expert opinion. She's fucking useless.
Like 1 year. And just because I was bored.
Mrs. Peete says she was a stopper. Well, that
Forward spinners.
that definitely checks out.
I think.
What's a stopper in soccer? No, a stopper. Well, I don't know.
She says she was a stopper, a sweeper, stopper, striker. That sounds like 3 different positions to me.
Yeah, it does.
I think she's making this up.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've seen sweeping and curling. All right, I mean, they're sweeping like motherfuckers.
Oh yeah, they got an actual broom.
Yeah. I'm not. See, that's cheating. Don't Google it. You're supposed to know this shit.
Google it. I've never heard that term before.
Good God.
I mean, I knew it was in defense, but
The only rule that's tough to understand is the offsides. As long as you touch the ball first, you can clean out the other player. I don't even know what that means. What does clean out the other player mean? I know. Hey, here's the main rule: you can't touch the ball with your hands. I know that, unless you're a goalie.
Yeah. I guess I can't blame her too much. I played pee-wee fucking hockey, and I don't remember all the positions.
Yeah.
Granted, that was more than 20 years ago.
I do watch the World Cup, though. I mean, I'm not going to sit down and watch like MLS
I've never watched the World Cup.
You've never watched the World Cup?
No, I haven't.
Why not?
I don't know.
I thought you were an American.
Never gotten into. Yeah, exactly. They're not there.
They still playing it though.
The soccer.
I'll watch the World Cup when America's there.
Well, they're there most of the time.
Yeah, they're a fucking one and done. Like literally, I mean, we're as bad at soccer as Jamaica is at bobsledding. Okay.
Oh man.
Great movie, by the way.
Cool Runnings.
Yeah, they didn't get into the dark shit of that though. How they got disqualified because their coach was betting on the shit.
Was that supposed to be a true story, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I hear Volusia talking about the soccer all the time, and I just don't. I don't know.
I've just never gotten into soccer. Like, soccer was becoming a thing, in the 90s when I came up, but I mean, it was still football, basketball, baseball.
When I was in high school, like the kids that were on the soccer team were the kids that I really didn't like. Or no, I take that back. They were the kids that really didn't like me.
Yeah.
I didn't have a problem with them.
Outside of football, when I was in high school, the only sport I paid any attention to was the softball team.
Oh, of course. Softball team.
Hey, man, it is what it is. We had the best looking softball team in the county. And how often do you get to stay in conversation, check out the ass on that second baseman?
Damn. There was a bunch of good-looking girls on Mrs. Pete's soccer team in high school. Of course, she was one of them. Obviously.
There were some on our soccer team as well. I still didn't want. I mean, a lot of them played softball as well, but I don't know. I was way more into. I'm gonna be honest, especially once I quit playing football, I was way more into drugs than I was anything else.
Yeah. I liked watching Mrs. Pete run. For some certain reason, I can't figure out why.
Should be obvious.
It was obvious to me. Pete didn't like the boys' soccer team because they were trying to holler at Mrs. Pete. Actually, there is some truth to that. Yeah, I think actually, yeah. Her ex-boyfriend before me played on the soccer team.
Oh, now it all makes sense.
Now I didn't dislike him. I never had a problem with him. But he's probably the one that convinced the rest of the players on the team not to like me. Now it's all starting to make sense.
Well, I could see that.
Yeah.
Or threaten them all. I see that being way more likely.
Yeah. All right, guys. That's going to do it for tonight. 8:44.
Boss, I just live in it.
Yes, sir. Some football talk, some Sea Dog House talk, and some soccer and high school talk tonight on the ACC show. Oh, wait, a little bit of basketball talk too. Actually, we covered it all.
See, that's why we need more Pete during the off season. We never know where the conversation's going to go.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Slim. Appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Talk to you soon. Talk to you tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah. Got a dentist appointment in the morning. That's about it.
All right, perfect then. Talk to you tomorrow.
Oh, yes, sir.
All right, Sea Dog.
All right, man.
After a long day of playing video games and painting, you can now relax.
All right.
Oh.
I'm stoked.
I know. I can tell. All right. I'll see you next Tuesday. Yeah. So a show next Tuesday for the ACC show, and then I'll be out of town the week after that. I'll be in Washington, but I'll be here next Tuesday.
All right, then.
So I'll see you then. Make sure you get your painting done before the show next week.
Right.
All right.
Gotcha.
All right. Talk to you later, buddy.
All right. See ya.
All right, everyone. That's going to do it for me as well. Thank you for tuning into the ACC show. It's right now. There's a great game on though. If you're in basketball, Tennessee and Kentucky are tied at 54 with just under 8 minutes left. So this is Tennessee's ranked 5 and Kentucky's ranked 15. So I'm assuming this is a pretty big game in the SEC by two good teams. So anyway, all right. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning on the midday show on my second channel at 11 a.m. See y'all then.